Beloved, good morning and welcome back to the shop. It is a chilly 26 degrees and I have something very exciting to share with you. We have a brand new tool, a tool that is going to allow me to do something I've never done before that I didn't know existed. This is a blind bearing puller. Behold, it's always a wonderful occasion when you find an excuse or a reason to buy a new tool. This is for, well, actually, how do I explain it? It might be easier just to show you. Before we get to the problem, I want to show you how a starter works, because this is actually quite fascinating. And this is the same thing you're going to have in your car. Any engine that has a starter is going to essentially be the same thing. So this is what we call a Bendix, right? So just to lay everything out, you see this shaft right here? That's your starter motor. Your starter motor, when you push the start button or turn the key, it turns this. And that turns very fast, and when that turns, it activates this, what they call a Bendix. And a Bendix slings out and engages the flywheel and starts the engine. So when you engage that button, this thing slings out, these teeth move up and engage in here. Now this Bendix right here runs on these factory bushings in the case. There's one right there, and there's one right here. You see how that goes in there? Now my starter started acting up when I was hitting the button. It was not engaging. And I looked into this and found out that these factory bushings are inferior and they don't last very long. And if left go, they can destroy the entire case. I'm hoping that's not the case already, but there is still a bushing in there. It doesn't look like it's hollowed out, but the only way to get that bushing out, because it's pressed into a case, is with that blind bearing puller. Now here's where the blind bearing puller is going to come in. We've got that factory bushing in there, and now that I check the Bendix here, this should be a precision fit, but it's wiggling all over the place, meaning that it's worn that bushing out. Now these bushings are supposed to be pressed in there, so how do you possibly get that out of there, right? I mean, there's no lip on it to get a screwdriver in it, so that's where this comes in. So I've never used one before, so we're going to be learning together. But these are called collets, and if you look at them closely, they have, well, they're like segmented into 4 sections. How it works is you slip this into your bushing, and as you tighten this up, it spreads those little ends and grabs the bushing, and then you put this on the slide hammer and knock it out. All right, gentlemen, wish me luck here. I guess we'll back that off, so I can get it close. Don't know exactly how tight I need. I don't want to damage anything. Maybe just a little bit more. Now we can thread that carefully. Thread that slide hammer on there. And hopefully this will pop out. Well, that came out pretty easy. Let's clean this out and inspect the case. Man, it looks pristine. I don't see any wear. I think we caught it just in the absolute nick of time before that got any looser and started to wallow out that case. Goodness, that couldn't have worked any better. We got both, well, we got the one bushing out with this, the other one fell out, but here are the factory rolled steel bushings that are completely worn out. Now that I've shown you the problem, I'm going to show you the solution. We've got these 2 Super Skookum phosphor bronze bushings, replacement bushings, aftermarket, that are supposed to last forever, provided you keep them lubricated. Now, one problem we have is, remember how that one just fell out and how loose it was? Well, we have a good product for that. This is Loctite 648. This is designed not to hold threads, but to secure bushings. I think we're ready to install this. Make sure we put that channel up. I've not used this 648 before. I don't know exactly how much we need, but it's green in color. All right, that channel is up. Let's see, I put an arrow on up, so that's up right there. So basically like that. Oops. Now that'll take about 24 hours to set up, so you don't want to run your starter. That should be tapped out or seated. Now I read that if it's a press fit, if it's tight, you don't need the Loctite, but I don't see any harm in it. I don't want that. You don't want that thing in there spinning. You want to protect your case. You want that to be locked in there. Now this will have to be tapped in. Be very careful. Tap, tap, tap. Yeah, that's a really, I can feel that's a tight fit. Yeah, heard it seal there. Now we are ready to install this Bendix. Hopefully I don't have to replace this, but we'll start with this, and if I don't have any more problems, then we'll just go with it. It's going to be important about every 40 hours or so to get in here and just lubricate this a little bit, as well as the teeth. I'm going to use an Amsoil synthetic. I was told not to use a grease on here, but this is something you'll put on your maintenance schedule. I already lubricated this Bendix up pretty good, so it seems to be functioning just flawlessly. And this should go right in here. This should be a much better fit. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's much tighter. I could feel the... Yeah, that's way better. This was all wiggly. Now, do you see how the teeth engage with the motor? And when that motor spools up, that throws this, and that meshes and lines up with the teeth on the flywheel, and that's how it starts. And then as soon as you disengage, this goes back and is clear, and then the engine now is running.